Chapter 15. We see the MC and Tenjiku seeing Momo and Mari fight like cats. Tenjiku tells the MC to please stop them quickly and says that they both suddenly broke out into a fight. Suddenly, something flings into the air and hits someone as blood splatters. Now we see Momo and Mari sitting on their beds as they avoid looking at each other. Tenjiku looks concerned as she looks at them and says that she can't believe that Momo got into a fist fight with Mari. Amari looks worried as she asks, "High schoolers can do just about anything, can't they?" Now we see Hiragi. She looks at the MC who has a bruise on his face and asks him, how did he get beaten up more than the two girls who were actually involved in the fight? Tenjiku tells her that it's a long story. Now we go back to seeing Momo and Mari. Mari tells Momo that she's a horrible person for throwing a stun gun at the MC. Momo replies and says that she didn't throw it just because she wanted to. She lost her grip, which was all thanks to some girl with her one-sided love. Mari gets annoyed and asks her, why does she have a stun gun in the first place? Momo replies and says that she's super cute. That's why she needs a means of self-defense while outside school. Anyone who tries to hurt her beautiful face will be considered as enemies. Mari gets more annoyed as she says, "What? So you were trying to throw that at me instead?" Momo pouts and asks Mari, didn't she enjoy pain? Mari calls her an ugly bitch. Momo screams and tells her that she isn't an ugly bitch. Mari tells her that she has a bitchy attitude though. They both start fighting again. As Tenjiku tries to break their fight in the background, we see Hiragi scolding the MC. She tells him that he doesn't have the freedom to go home on time during this camp. Be it fights that the students get into, anything that happens will be his responsibility. She continues and says, I'm sure you're aware of the reason behind this fight, aren't you? He stays silent for a bit and tells her that he'll take full responsibility of the matter at hand. The next day, we see some girls playing together and having a fun time. Tenjiku looks at them and says that it's their free time now, and yet the difference between Class A and Class E is huge. Akashi joins in and says that it's like comparing between heaven and hell. Someone suddenly calls Tenjiku and says that they want some tea. Tenjiku gets startled and immediately goes to them. Akashi and Amari look at that person. We see Akashi say that this does not look like everything's okay. Amari adds to it and says that instead of being friends, it feels like she's being treated like a servant. She continues and says that it certainly bears being treated as non-existent like them. Akashi replies and says that his class said that he'll be a bother, so he should stay away from them. Now we see some girls fawning over Sakayede as they pull him. A girl pulls out a box of cookies as she blushes. She tells him to try them because she made them for him. He takes the box of cookies. He thanks her and tells her that they look really good with a smile on her face. Hearing this makes the girl really happy. Suddenly the other girls see this and tell him to not just look at her and that it's not fair. The other girls start clinging to his arm as they tell him to try their snacks too and that they want a photo with him. Momo looks at this commotion from the side and thinks that he's really popular. She takes a closer look and thinks that with him being that handsome, she wouldn't be surprised if she actually started liking him and compares him to the MC. Now we see the MC talking to Momo and Mari. We see them sitting somewhere isolated. He tells them that as their homeroom teacher, he wants to find out the reason why they were fighting last night. As he's saying this, Momo thinks that he looks so lackluster even when lecturing them, and wonders why would Mari even like him in the first place. He continues and says that he heard that Mari got jealous of Momo because he lent her his jacket and asks Mari if she would mind telling them why she felt that way. Hearing him makes Mari go silent while Momo thinks that he's so retarded. Mari starts blushing as she tries to say something. Momo gets impatient and asks Mari if she can't spit it out already. She gets more annoyed and says that if she doesn't tell it straight to his face, this filthy virgin will never get it. Mari tries to stop her, but Momo starts saying something. Suddenly, Sakayede comes from the back and tosses the cookie he received from the girl into Momo's mouth to stop her as he apologizes to her for interrupting. He whispers in her ear, "That's as far as you should go. A confession has to be made by the person themselves. Otherwise, won't it be too mean to Mari?" He continues and tells her that he'll somehow make the MC accept it and asks Momo to go make up with Mari in the meantime. As she holds the cookie in her hand, she sees Sakayede waving at her as he heads towards the MC. Sakayede goes to the MC and asks him if he can borrow him for a minute, as he has something to tell him. The MC asks him, is it a part of the job? Sakayede replies and tells him that it's part of the job. Momo looks at them talking and thinks that Sakayede is a good guy, and no wonder his students even baked cookies for him. Momo looks at the cookie she's holding and thinks real hard for a second. Suddenly, she suggests Mari to bake some cookies for the MC. Hearing the suggestion surprises and shocks Mari. Momo tells her that she should have more confidence in herself. She continues and says, "You can even cook well, but since Momo is so cute already, who cares if Momo can't cook?" Momo looks irritated as she screams, "Since you have so much time to be jealous of others, why not you spend that time on improving yourself?" Mari hears her and thinks that this might be her way of making up. She looks at the half-eaten cookie which Momo gave her and thinks about the suggestion she gave. As she's still looking at the cookie, she thinks that Momo is always so confident. She gets up as she thinks that she's the most unreliable and pathetic person of all. As Mari is doing this, we see some other girl looking at her. Now we see Sakaede and the MC. Sakaede asks him, why is he still a virgin? The MC asks, how is this question related to his job as a teacher? Sakaede replies and tells him that it's not directly related. The MC replies and tells him that if it's not related, he cannot answer him. Suddenly, Sakaede laughs and tells the MC that he's more dim-witted than he thought when it comes to girls. Hearing this confuses the MC. Sakaede continues and says, I can't help it if you still don't get it, but I'm telling you that Mari definitely has feelings for you. He continues and says that Mari's feelings are genuine, unlike Momo's, just like Suzuki-sensei from before. At first, he had thought that she was just being overly dependent on her teachers, but this time, it finally dawned upon him that she was feeling jealous because she likes him. He smiles as he says that although on the surface he may have said that a confession has to be made by the person themselves, which might have sounded like he was putting on airs. Suddenly, he throws all the cookies he had received from the girl off the cliff, and with a serious face he says, but being confessed to by a student will indeed bring plenty of trouble. The MC stands there in silence as he hears this. Sakaede goes back to normal and says, but honestly, being liked isn't a bad thing. In a girls' school, young male teachers will tend to be somewhat more popular. By giving them all vague responses and letting them continue liking me, it'll be easier to control them, see? He continues and tells that people will do anything for the ones they like. They're like hostesses. Giving them false hopes and dreams just makes him feel like he's on top of the world. With a big smile on his face, he says, in that way, he can be popular among the students for as long as he likes. The key is to keep distance. If he's too frank about it like just now, all his efforts will go to waste. As he's saying this, the MC calls him, and with a serious tone he says, since when did I say that I didn't get it? Now we see someone asking if they saw the look on the MC's face. We see that it's Tsubaki and the other girls. Nagisa condescendingly says, he's already so dull and boring to begin with, and yet he's still giving us even more questionable looks? She laughs and says that she still can't believe that Momo and Mari were fighting over that disgusting virgin teacher, and she can't believe that Mari likes that guy. As she's saying this, she notices something. She sees that it's Mari standing at the edge of the cliff. They all look at her as she's on her phone. Erika looks worried about her as she says that Mari looks like she's alone. Nagisa says, so much for making up and pretending to be friends. In the end, everything is back to where they started. She questions if that is the result of the MC's guidance and says that it's seriously pathetic. Erika tries defending the MC and tells her that it's not true and that he made Oda stop lying. Nagisa replies and tells her that Oda only lost her platform to spout her lies on. That's all. Nagisa smiles and says that she does have to applaud him for putting up with all this harassment, as Tsubaki stands behind her and hears this. As Tsubaki is listening to them, she remembers talking to the MC as he said, I wanted to die. Suddenly, she joins in the conversation and says, no, the reason why he still hasn't quit is that we haven't harassed him enough. She continues and tells them that small, simple means don't bother him. To him, no matter how harsh the insults or how severe the blows are, they all have no effect. She looks real serious and says, he fears nothing. She suddenly walks towards Mari. Mari tries to turn around and see who's behind her, but suddenly she gets pushed off the cliff by Tsubaki. As Tsubaki pushes Mari off, she has a blank expression on her face. She smiles and says that the MC is just like her. As we see Mari at the bottom of the cliff, Nagisa runs to Tsubaki as she looks worried and asks her how is she going to deal with this now, and asks, what if Mari dies? As Tsubaki takes Mari's phone from the ground, she says, even if we get found out, who cares? That girl will be assumed to have jumped of her own accord. They'll just think that she couldn't think straight after the fight. No one will suspect that it's us. She takes Mari's phone and turns it off. Nagisa looks really worried as she tries to say something, but Tsubaki interrupts her and says that even if they proclaim that it's not an accident, she's not the one who did it. Suddenly, they hear a sound. They see the girl who was looking at Mari before, hiding behind a bush. As the girl is shaking from fear, Tsubaki says that no one will know why she's there in the first place, and says that this girl is from Class E, and she's Sakae's student. The girl screams and calls Tsubaki a murderer, but Tsubaki acts oblivious and asks her what is she saying, and says that the girl will be named as the murderer. And this is how this chapter ends. Hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you.